प्यायन्तु ममाङ्गानि वाक्प्राणश्चक्षुः श्रोत्रमथो बलमिन्द्रियाणि च सर्वाणि सर्वं ब्रह्मोपनिषदं माहं ब्रह्म निराकुर्यां मा ब्रह्म निराकरोत् अनिराकरणमस्तु अनिराकरणं मेस्तु तदात्मनि निरतेय उपनिषत्सु धर्मास्ते मयि सन्तु ते मयि सन्तु। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। Om. May all my limbs attain strength. May the body, mind, and all sensory and motor organs and the life force become strong, perfected, capable. All is verily the one, without a second, blissful, luminous existence called Brahman. Let me never deny this truth of oneness. May this truth never reject me. May all the virtues needed to experience this truth in life be with me. Om, peace, peace, peace. Let us feel I am a wave in the infinite ocean of Satchidananda, the existence, consciousness, absolute, infinite. This ocean is my reality, the reality of all waves. In spite of the apparent differences of shapes, sizes, and names, I see essentially everything is same. I am connected to ocean. I arise from it. It controls my motion. my form merges back to it. I am that. I am feeling merged. In the infinite radiance of the divine. It is peace. It is bliss. Om. Peace. 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 So as we have been seeing in the study of this Upanishad, that divine is the cause, it is the existence, consciousness, bliss, and we are involved in that. We come from that. This Upanishad is especially feelingful Upanishad, means its bent is towards devotion. It is sometimes thought that Upanishads, they are knowledge and there is not much scope of bhakti in it. It is a misconception. Upanishads are full of bhakti. So, bhakti means the love, the feelings. It is, and this Upanishad right from the beginning is trying to get us have this feel of presence of God as our reality in and through. We had been seeing, this is the 5th chapter that we are studying, and we shall begin with our regular prayers. This is, as you can see, the 39th class. So, uh, Abhijit, can you see so many windows are opening here? Let's close this. Okay, push through the. Nothing is happening. Nothing is happening with my clicking. So, it should work. Let's see. Huh? Because he changed it from here there. It is not showing here. Now it is clicking and changing here.
What you have in your screen, is it showing the same thing? No, this is frozen. I'll try one more time.
It is frozen. Okay, okay. Came out from freezer. Frozen. Oh. Technology, you see. I mean, nothing wrong with technology, but somehow, see again, two windows are there. Yeah, but there are two windows here. It is. Or my eyes have gone bad, I am seeing two. That happens, if there is a problem.
It's what they are doing there.
Huh?
Yeah, it's okay. I mean, it's not your fault.
But then how do I get rid of it?
No.
See, I want a window completely like this, Here there are all these things around. They should not be there.
They are working on it. They are working on it.
Okay, here I get it. Correct. Thank you, friends. And again it came wrong. Again. They will take care of it. Okay. Okay, please take care of it. So let's begin with the opening prayers. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu Ma Vidvishvavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. May we be protected together. May we be nourished together. May we together. May our study make us illumined. May there be no dislike between us. Om, peace, peace, peace. So this is the prayer to feel that oneness. Togetherness is a step to oneness. So that is, as we were meditating, this one reality is vibrating in all of us. Brahman is our reality in all aspects. And this will be clarified more and more as we go forward. All aspects means it is not just existence of everything, the existence behind everything, but it is not an inert or static existence behind everything, but it is conscious, effulgent, and a functional existence behind everything. So this is an important fact to be remembered. Last time we were discussing the fourth verse in the fifth chapter. This fifth chapter is about the practical understanding of this and shifting the way we live. Although ultimate reality is where there is no good, no evil, all dualities are merged in it, yet to realize that truth, we have to take recourse to the what is normally called the good aspect and shun the evil aspect. We have to take up what is called the Vidya Maya and just shun the Avidya Maya as the path, as the destination and as the path. We have to see both. As destination, there is no distinction in that, like evil, good, right, wrong. Everything is merged. There is no separation or no division, distinctions there. But as we proceed there in the path, there is this distinction, the right and the wrong. So it is important that we see Sarva Disha Urdhva Madhascha Tiryak Prakashayan Bhrajate Yad Vanangan. That this is this Anadvan, that is the beautiful word, Anadvan, means like the big shining bodies like sun. So, Evam Sadevo Bhagavan Varenyo Yonis Svabhavan Adhitishtati Ekaha, that just as the sun shines lighting up all space above, below and across, even so does that one adorable God, the repository of all goodness and greatness, preside over everything that has the nature of a cause. And this is a very sublime, subtle hint that it makes everything illumined, everything appears with the light of that. This idea you find in all Upanishads and Bhagavad Gita, in fact in all the world scriptures, that it is, for example, you read in Bible and God said, let there be light, and there was light. It is all God's light. So that is the illuminator absolute. Sun is just one of the small fragments of that, and even with that, this we see it illumines everything. And we were studying Hafiz in Ridley Manor some time back, and then there Hafiz gives a beautiful analogy that sun once discovered that it is just a shadow. And what has caused, what brilliant light must have caused such a bright shadow? And it is that sun is so luminous. Its light that comes to us, that also is so luminous, so dazzling. And then if that is shadow, imagine that immense luminosity from which such a shadow is made. So This is, although a poetic imagery, we have to see that the truth is even more than that. That light of the self is immeasurable, and it is really that light that makes everything uh, appear to us. That light, sun's light, does not reach us in dream when we see. In dream, with what light do we see? That light illuminates even our dream. Our sleeping state also is illuminated by that. It is, everything is actually illuminated or becomes shining, because that shines. As Kathopanishad says, Tameva bhantam anubhati sarvam tasya bhasa sarvamidam vibhati. That shining, everything shines. So that is that divine light. All directions get illumined by that, and that is a repository of all goodness and greatness. All goodness and greatness, that is what God is. In fact, God is goodness condensed, concretized goodness, that is God. Philosophers like Plotinus, therefore, instead of calling God, they call the good. The good, that is absolute goodness, not the goodness that we see in the world, which is contrasted by the evil. That which is on the backdrop of evil, you see that as good. It is not absolute goodness. It is connected with some evil. But God is the goodness absolute. So, repository of all goodness and greatness, preside over everything. Preside over everything that has a cause. That is of the nature of a cause. Means it is caused by the Lord, and that it becomes a secondary cause. And it is, everything is having its own effects. See, for example, a person is itself a cause. Coming from God, it is an effect, but then becomes a secondary cause. Everything is secondary cause. Like God uses all these instruments which has their own capabilities. See, the infinite instrumentality involved in that. It is every single muscle in our body is controlled by that. It is caused, and secondarily it becomes cause. Every single atom is governed by that. And even the biggest, largest thing, like here we saw a black hole, a very highly dense dense object, so dense that light cannot escape from there. Such huge gravity that we cannot even imagine. Our life, normal life, will be just we cannot imagine how will a human being be there at a black hole. It is. I was in a place there in Huntsville, Alabama, and I was taken to NASA there. And then they have, just for understanding how in space things become different. So there are different gravity things there. Zero gravity. How will you feel if your gravity becomes zero? You have no gravity. I didn't go there because there was a long line. But then I go where in a 3G there was short line. So I went there. I didn't have much time to go to zero gravity. It would have been interesting, but 3G, because zero gravity you can to a great extent experience in the elevator, as the elevator is coming down freely. Then you can, if you think of your weight, then you may have a glimpse. But 3G, it is so difficult. It is beyond something that I had imagined. It was told that those who find it difficult to breathe, not good lungs, they should not get in there. Because under that huge gravity, our lungs may just stop, you cannot breathe. And we were told just stay there, reclining the wall. I thought we may just lean over and fall. No, there was no possibility of leaning. Nothing as such was holding, but we were as it were stuck to the wall. I tried to lift my finger. No, it was so difficult. Now by just thinking, lift the finger, it gets lifted. Then it was even with great effort, it was not coming. It got lifted like that, as if I am lifting a big weight. So it was, imagine black hole with such gravity, unimaginable. But that is also all creation of God. So it is, everything is a cause. It is an effect and it is secondarily a cause. It has a function to perform. Everything, every machinery, every single cell in our body, a very small motor, it is a very small motor there. And still it is needed, it is performing its function. It is like a big manager or governor of a plant. There are so many people working, say 5,000 employees. Now 5,000 employees, each is given a particular work to do, and that person is being watched whether the work is being done or not by the manager. That all the day. So this super owner of a big company called this universe is everybody is becoming an employee, like a servant, performing its function, cannot overrule that administration. Everybody has been provided some power, a will. That is why we think, I have done my job, I can do this, I cannot do that. All this is provided by Lord. All this minute functionality, which we think it is my power. Yes, it is your power, because you have been assigned to do that, and you have been given that power. So, functionally, God is in each breath of ours. Our breathing is possible because God has given the lungs that capability and that functionality. That is why we are able to breathe. The moment God tells that, well, you are fired, that lung will not be able to work, you see. It is all under the tremendous that governance of God, and that governance is very intricate, minute, and nobody can escape that. Our boss in this world can be, told, no, I don't want to do it. Or you may hoodwink the boss. You may hoodwink the worldly administration, but this divine administration is right there watching you by your own eyes. What you call your own eyes are the eyes of that being, that divine, with which it is watching you, whether you are performing or not. Everything is ordained by that. It is, see, this is, we saw that last time, this time square. Every being in it is a universe. All are in same space. But look at, try to feel the condition or the mentality or the psychology of so many hundreds of thousands of people there. All are thinking differently. All have different worries, different concerns. Somebody we probably is thinking, how am I going to pay my next bills? Somebody is thinking, well, where can I invest the millions that I have got? Two different opposite concerns, you see. Somebody is there thinking of what am I going to have for my dinner. Somebody is thinking something else. There are, everybody is a universe in itself. It is a cause, and causing means something. So therefore these very beautiful words, that everything that has the nature of a cause, everything, each of us, each thing that we see is an effect, and yet is pregnant with possibilities. It has the nature of a cause. It causes. This is a very poetically presented point, friends, to feel this. One has to feel that every single thing in us is being directly connected to God. We are not able to fathom it at all. That is why we get so many questions, that why did God do like this? Why did God take away my little child away from me? So many questions come. God is not subject to our thoughts, our reasoning. We are subject to God's thoughts. Therefore it is very important to see this. Then, yacca svabhavam pachati vishvayonehi पाच्यांश्च सर्वान् परिणामयेद्यः सर्वमेतद् विश्वमधितिष्ठत्येको गुणांश्च सर्वान् विनियोजयेद्यः. Here you will see apparently a grammatic point, that it is the first word yach. It is yat, means earlier that was being described as yah. It is the masculine, that he, the God, was addressed as he. Now it is being addressed as that, because God is beyond all the gender identifications. It is sometimes it is said that in Vedic literature there is no such gender distinctions. Those rules came later. So, but that is not the only reason. What they are describing is beyond this gender classification altogether. So therefore it is said, yacca svabhavam pachati vishvayonehe पाच्यांश्च सर्वान् परिणामयेद्यः Sarvametad Vishwam Adhitishtati Eko. Again here it is all masculine. Gunascha Sarvan Viniyojayedyaha. See, it is he. Now in English translation, it has therefore been all formed into he. But let us keep in mind that it is not a masculine gender-wise a definite entity. It is beyond all gender distinctions. He who is the cause of all and who enables all things to function according to their nature, who brings to maturity all that can be ripened, who, being non-dual, rules over the whole universe and engages the gunas in their respective functions. We discussed that to a great extent and during this last verse discussion. But see, is the cause of all, while not being cause of anything, being non-dual. Now non-dual is not really cause, there is nothing else there. So in that sense it is not a cause. How does non-dual become cause? When you see that very non-dual as multiple. It is by our ignorance that, or it is called here power also, that very non-dual, by its inscrutable power, appears as this continuously shifting and changing inscrutable multiplicity. The multiplicity is also inscrutable. We look for the cause, why this happened. We scratch our brains and discover laws, that this is how this functions. Okay, fine, that laws, those laws explain something. It raises then more questions than it solves. So, you see many more questions come up. So this is also something that is ordained by God. Okay, this is your function. Human function is to think. We had some discussion here in our Universal Brotherhood Day many years ago on science and spirituality, science and religion. So, this Catholic priest, Father Saint Godard, who is no more, but used to come here very often. Well, we have no conflict with science. We thank God for making science. So we thank God for making science. It is who made us think and discover and all. We cannot stop doing it. That inquisitiveness and trying to discover things, this is ingrained in us. Who made us do that? And not every creature is doing that. Every creature is doing its function. Somehow human beings have been involved in this function. They have to do it. There is no alternative. They will not be able to stop doing it. It is all done through God. This machine has this function, it will have to perform that function. There is no other way that it will be able to sustain itself. So human beings have been programmed like that to think and to feel that they have a free will. Where is the free will? But yet we all are forced to think that we have free will. Means it is not really free, since we are forced to think like that. It is that we have, as it were, a free will. There is actually no free will in the true sense of the term. It is, yet we have to feel that I am free, I can take my decisions. Well, feel like that, feel, but see, your decisions are dictated by some power that is not in your control. Let us remember that it is that Sri Ramakrishna used to say, without the wish of God, even the leaf of a tree does not move. God ordains everything. He uses very funny language. God, He sees everything, hears everything. It is God can hear the sound of the anklet on an ant's foot. Now ant tiny bit, its foot, its ankle, and there is an anklet to it, and its sound, imagine. So God can hear that too. Means everywhere is the presence of divine. And why this is being told, not just for information, but to make us feel this presence of divine in and through our being. Feel it. Feel it. That feeling is very important. That I am in and through full of God. God has powered me. God is prodding me. So feeling that divine presence functioning in us. So this is how we have to see. So respective functions are being performed by God in this way. So everything is just powered by this presence of the divine. So that it is now the description of that. Now it comes to the description in the next verse. It comes to the description of us here. Every being. How that every being is thus divine. We up till now have seen that how God is pervaded in and through us. Well, then who are we? We are God. It is, let us, this is what the next verse is bringing to us to feel and understand that it is in and through all Vedas and Upanishads, it is that is being described. That Upanishads, they come from Brahman. It is therefore in Brahma Sutra, the aphorisms on Brahman, which is a systematic presentation of all the Upanishadic doctrines. Now that says in the third of its aphorisms, Shastra Yonitvat, that all these scriptures, all this knowledge, it comes from that divine principle. From God it comes up. That is the source of this divine wisdom. So, Tad Brahma Vedate Brahma Yonim. And since it has sprung from that, all the Upanishads and scriptures and all knowledge has sprung from that. It provides you therefore the way to see that it is. Just go backwards. We are sprung from that. The Upanishads have sprung from that. Now therefore hold on to the Upanishad and then go back and you will reach God. So Shastra Yonitvat has been described from both ways. It is a conjugal word and therefore can be described depending on how the declination is. So one way is the Brahman is the cause of the scriptures. And second, this thing is second conclusion from this, or second meaning is that God is the conclusion of Brahman. So, of the scriptures. God is, where do you get the knowledge of God? From the scriptures. So, scriptures, as it were, they become the cause of our experience of the divine, and the divine is the cause of the scriptures. Shastra Yonitvat. Both there is an elaborate commentary of Shankaracharya on understanding both these meanings. So, ye purvam deva rishayascha tadvidu te tanmaya amrita vai babhuvuhu. So those who thus following the scriptures, let's read the translation. He lies hidden in the Upanishads, which form the essence of the Vedas. Him the Hiranyagarbha knows as the source of himself and the Vedas. Those gods and seers who realized him in the former days become identified with him and verily became immortal. It has used the past tense, that it is in the past those who knew all those sages, Rishayah, all those seers and gods who realized him, they became identified with him and verily became immortal. They became Brahman in the past. So, Shankaracharya in his commentary on this part mentioned that idaning apitad means even now that is true. It is not only true, that was true in the past, even now the same thing is true, that it is like that Tylenol was reducing fever 100 years ago. Then if you eat now, since the nature of fever and all is similar, and now also it will work. So it is like that, that by knowing that many realized God. This statement comes in similar way in Bhagavad Gita also, that thousands of people have crossed this ocean that by practicing this doctrine, imbibing it. So one can, by imbibing this, realize the same truth and thus will become immortal, and we will be ever blissful. So there is that immortal word contains all other things associated with that. And how do we get this? Just by knowing this. So this is by knowing we become that, because that is the special feature of this knowledge, that you become that by knowing that, because you actually are that. It is only ignorance that is making you feel that you are different something. So it is like, say, Abhijit starts thinking and mistakes that, well, I don't know what happened. I am not Abhijit. I am looking for Abhijit. Hmm. Now, if he finds Abhijit, means where will he find? Well, I am that. So this is how this process of Vedanta is, that you find you are that. It is, the ignorance is gone, that's all. And thus, thinking of oneself as this, all those ideas just disappear. That, oh, how mistaken those things were. When it dawns, then that is how it happens. So that is how this sages, the teachers, they give advice to the student. When the student is asking, well, what is God? I want to know about God. And the disciple is told, you are that, thou art that. Now that has been shown in connection, that look at that, and now look at thou. Now you will see the identity. Like that story of the sheep lion. That sheep lion was just imagining itself to be a sheep. It was a lion, but was imagining that it is a sheep. And then a real lion drags it towards a pond, and then says, see, look at my reflection. Look at my reflection. That is what is called technically the Tat Padartha Shodhana. That examining what is God, what is the nature of God. Let us examine that. So, therefore, that lion said to this sheep lion, look at me. Look at my reflection. Oh, okay, yes. And now look at your reflection. Don't you see that what am I is you too? This is therefore called the Tvam Padartha Shodhana. Who am I? That is God. We saw what are they, what is the nature of that divine. And now try to see, does it match with my nature? Absolutely. So who am I? That which walks like a duck, talks like a duck, is a duck. So that is, you will see you are not different from God. Gunanvayo yah phala karma karta kritasya tasyaiva sachopabhokta savishvarupastri gunans Trigunans, what is that? It is not clear. Trigunans trivarta pranadibhi sancharati swakarmabhi. So pranadipah sancharati swakarmabhi. A very beautiful presentation, that without any change, that is appearing as I and the world. No change has taken place at all. It is that very thing now seems to have so many different qualities, so many differences, so many different functions, but that has all happened without any change. Only he who gets attached to the pleasurable qualities of things does work for the sake of its fruits, and enjoys the fruits of his own deeds. Though really the master of the senses, he becomes bound by three gunas and assuming various forms wanders about through the three paths as a result of his own deeds. Mm. One's own deeds. It is, if God is everything, then what is why some people suffer, why some people enjoy, why some get more, why some get less, why somebody becomes an ant and somebody an anteater. How all these things are there. See, it is, that is how God has put these elements, and they are on their own now working. So, as they work, now you will see that their working manifests. All that, although it is God, it is, this is again creating problem here. The computer's IP address could not be contacted. What happened? Till now it was contacting. Hey Jitendra, what did you do? Computer's IP address. Okay, now it has contacted, it seems. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it is like that, somebody is communicating and then suddenly the communication stops and things cannot be done. The line you say, hey, hello, no answer from there. So it's like that. Only who gets attached. So all this depends on our getting embroiled, attached to I. That is what Sri Ramakrishna said. I and mine. That is how we get entangled in it. And we feel that suffering, we suffer from that. Another beautiful poem of Hafiz comes to mind, that it is about attachments. That somebody says to Hafiz, oh my friend, please tell me how to get over the attachments. And Hafiz says, attachments? Well, you are protecting them. You want to, you say that you want to go beyond them. But look, you have a big army protecting them. You have kept, it's a very telling poem, that how, on the one hand, we do not like these attachments because they bind us. On the other hand, we do not want them to be taken away either. In fact, we build forts. We keep armed guards and dogs, ferocious dogs, so that nobody will be able to steal our attachments. And we want those attachments, and thus it becomes all terrible situation for us. So this is why, according to our karma, we keep on migrating. Although we are God, there is no denial of that. It is, we are God, like all the characters in a movie. Well, it is all screen. Every character there, every actor, actress, everything that one sees in the movie is screen. And yet the movie goes, that person in the movie suffers or enjoys according to the script, and has to act accordingly. So here too, according to our attachments, we are suffering or enjoying. Both. The enjoyment means suffering. Only the name differs, you see. It is, sometimes we call that as enjoyment, sometimes that very thing is called as suffering. Anyway, so we shall continue to discuss this thing more. It is that how that very God is in each of us, and each of us therefore feels an individual, separate, and yet that divine is functioning through each of us. It's a very nice thought to meditate on. So we will conclude this discussion after listening to your questions, if there are any questions and comments. And yes, Richard.
When you were speaking Sanskrit, Upanishads in Sanskrit, you were basically singing them. Are they meant to be sung?
Yeah, these verses, they are being verses with a meter. One can recite them uh, in a way like singing. Yeah.
It seems to be extremely inspirational.
Uh,
You're chanting or singing, and
Well,
beautiful.
it is your, because you connect it like that. This is, God has given you that kind of connection. Somebody else, for example, that Yona sitting is in Sanskrit, I don't understand a word. Why should he even recite it? So people will have all different opinions about it, you see. But anyway, thank you for complimenting me on that. Okay. Huh?
Sing the whole lesson.
Sing whole lesson.
Nothing but Gali, everything.
Okay, okay, yeah, it is okay. Whatever it may be, but you are praising me, so it sounds like music to my ears. Okay. Any other question?
There's a question again there. Actually, two. So first one is, what are the three paths? At some point of time you mentioned three paths.
Yes, yes, three parts. That is actually here, three parts. But since I did not explain it, but next Friday, because the time is over, I did not complete the discussion of this verse. But since the question has come up, three paths are, means the path of going forward in the right illumined path. So, or the path that is going more and more darkness, or the neutral, depending on your actions. If your actions are good, it is you are on the path of it is the path that goes towards more and more illumination in life. So it is, and then the path that takes you further downwards. These are the, and then it is just the same, that doesn't go anywhere as such. It is a mixture of both good and bad. So you do not take a decided path in any of these. So that is called the third path. So it is the three different trajectories have been described in scriptures. We will discuss more about it next Friday.
And the other question was the online, the viewer who was asking if the modes and the dogs that you were referring to guard our desires, where is the reference to that? I don't, does the poem by
it is a poem of Hafiz, and you can find it in Hafiz that collection by this Daniel Ladinsky, translated and collected by Daniel Ladinsky under the name I Saw the God Laughing. So, so in that collection, I think that is the third poem in that collection. But I am not sure of that. I am not sure of the sequence, whether third or maybe fourth, who knows. But it is in that book. You remember? You were there, Shubhashish. Yeah. So, yeah. Okay, yes, Sheila.
Swami, you said that he's vibrating everywhere and in his house. So this is what we read in scriptures.
Yes.
You said that you should feel that. So that is basically a bhavana which you are doing. It is not your knowledge. So there is a big gap between your bhavana and your knowledge, because it is not your knowledge. You are just accepting what the scriptures are saying and doing the bhavana.
Very correct. Her question is that I told that try to feel this, that God is functioning in and through everything, including what is happening in our body. It is the divine that has filled us in every way and making it function whatever we are doing. Now this is not our knowledge, this is our feeling. Knowledge means it is our knowledge in our head. It is not our knowledge in our experience. It is in intellect. We have that as knowledge. And now what happens when this is an effort to activate our feelings in that direction? So what it will gradually make us that feeling, as it becomes more and more powerful, it will get converted into experience. So that is how this process is, that you create love for it through feelings, and thus now that love will break all your attachments. The feeling of God will be kind of constantly in you, and then that will become real for you. Yeah. You can name it whatever you know. It is the naming. It is that it is the path. Now, like this is called Angel Street, isn't it? Now, if you change the name to say Richard Street, yeah, what it road doesn't change by the name. It remains the same road with a different name. So call it bhakti or these are all, for the debate of those who do not really are looking at the essence of it. It is the same thing. There was that joke. It is so funny, but it is. I had told it before also. There was that various states here were getting, some boundaries were disputed. So there is the state Iowa butting the state of Minnesota. And at the border there were some towns and all, so there was measurement going on. It was doubted whether they are in Iowa or they are in Minnesota. Then after measurements and all, the officials told, no, you are in Iowa, as you were in Iowa earlier also, now also you are in Iowa. And one resident there said, oh, thank God, saved from those terrible storms in Minnesota. The fellows are there, only the name change. So it is a path of bhakti. Okay, if that satisfies you, call it path of bhakti. Right. So let us conclude with the closing prayers. Although next time also we shall take up this verse. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Tat Sat Shri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu. You all know about the upcoming retreat, and it is a good opportunity to learn the second chapter of Bhagavad Gita. So please try to register as soon as possible. You can register actually after 12th of October also if you want to pay $10 more, So